kakitu siwezi afford hata shati. Maji nanywa ya kanjo yako ya chupa za mapambo. Nalipia mtoto wako elimu ya bure ya juu. Unanipa ya bure lakini ya utu. Oh no. So nitapata wapi majibu ya maswali? Mahindi lienda wapi? Pia shilingi ya shule za msingi. Paulo mtume, mbona jela usimtume? Lazima abuniwe tume. Lazima abuniwe tume. Mapenzi ndizo hali mabasa tulificha kwa kabati. Kazi kwa vijana, pesa kwa wazee. Tulimangamanga mpaka za maded I say. Lazima abuniwe tume. Lazima abuniwe tume. Oh. Sheria. Oh. Sheria. Sheria. Fuata. Sheria. Sheria. Oh, oh. Sheria. Yeah, yeah. Fuata. Sheria. 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 Oh, oh. Fuata. Sheria. Sheria. Pia wewe mwananchi, tabia zako ziko chini. Unapenda kulipa hongo, uongo, una mipango na hata watoto wa kando. Haujui hata majina yao. Kura yako uliuza maini figo, ukakulia hadi dini. Kisha wasema tukuthamini, na wewe hapo hauaminiki. Na wewe hapo haupangiki.
Wapi kidero when you need to slap somebody? Complain ufisadi kwani ulidhani t-shirt 50 bob leso siku ya campaign ilikuwa free? Ni 5 year loan investment utalipa kingia parliament. We are one, amani we are one. Na utumishi kwa wote, utu missing CCTV we were watching. Pressure insecurity na job opportunity ni kama mti ya kibiriti. Side moja heavy. Usiniambie Kenya kuna umaskini, kwani hizi fat fingers zinaibia nane? Maskando inathreaten our survival. Media define leadership, na sura ukiaka front page na improve readership. Ambia wase wa Twitter wa hashtag hii ama hash reality doesn't make a good TT. Commission of inquiry wanakula commission bila kutupa ukweli. Ni kubaya mpaka kukiwa kuzuri unashindwa nini mbaya. Machozi ya perpetrator ineza dilute damu ya victim ilimwagika. After all is said and done, all will be said, nothing will be done. You're not my tribe, but you're my blood type. Lakini it doesn't have to take tragedy to know that.
Sheria. Sheria.
And a very good afternoon to you. This is Power Radio, and this is Sheria Dive by me, James Wanjeri. And I'm your host for this show where we talk about the law, we demystify the law. We do get to answer some of the questions that you will probably have on, things to do with the law and things that affect you. It's been an interesting week in Kenya. Of course, the doctors' strike is still on. We spoke about this last week. And the Employment and Labor Court did order the doctors and the government to get into some sort of discussions to agree. I think so far there have been about 3 meetings. Nothing has happened. So that's what that looks like. We have Haiti as well. Kenya got into an agreement with the government of Haiti through the prime minister. And as soon as he signed, he couldn't get back into his country. So now we're wondering what's happening to that agreement. These are all legal issues that we're dealing with. This is a show where we talk about the law and we make the law an easy conversation to have. We tell you about what rights you have, and we also point out some of the decisions that our courts make that are helping us to promote the rule of law. And today we have an interesting topic coming up. We're going to be talking about contracts. I don't know if you've been online. I have seen on Twitter there's a real battle on Twitter because there's a gentleman who is a car salesman. And he's taken some deposits from guys. The idea was to bring in cars for them. Now, apparently, kuna meli inakuja manze. Kuna meli inakuja, I think, by next week. These guys don't have their documents or anything. And I've realized that I think Kenyans get conned a lot. Kenyans really, really get conned a lot. And so today what we're going to be talking about is contracts. Why don't Kenyans like contracts? So we're going to be talking about contracts and how contracts protect you and I from getting into these times and into these things where you find you've actually been conned. So that's what we're talking about today. Remember, find us on the socials at Power Radio, at James Wanjeri, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. We'll be looking at the socials to see if you have questions that are coming up. But in the meantime, let's get some music, and then we come talk about contracts and why you should have a contract for things you get into. Let's go.
Power Radio. Clean and power up.
Unapenda light ama unapenda giza? Tulia nikupange. Utakunywa wine ama nilete mzinga? Tulia nikupange. Network ni sawa ukikaribia. Appetite yangu si ya sinia. Story yetu nitakanyagia. Tulia nikupange. Hakuna pale sifiki. Ona tuko kileleni. Na sikushiki. Umenijaza na mafeelings. Moto ni ya lighter, sio ya kibiriti. Tulia nikupange. Tulia nikupange. Tulia nikupange. Tulia nikupange. Unawacha wife juu ya ho, unaingia chama bila do, unatoa moshi bila ndoo. Tulia nikupange. Nani huyu hatoki kwa choo? Nani mbogi gani hii haina form? Msanii mgani huyu hana show? Tulia nikupange. Makonde wamejaza na Nairobi. Squeezy wheezy ndo imekuwa hobby. Tunaonanga signs but hatusomi. Hatujioni. Ndio pepepepe. Tulia nikupange. Pepepepe. Tulia nikupange. Pepepepe. Tulia nikupange.
Holy macaroni, pasta Johnny, jikoni na kohoni na washirika taka kitu kupanda mbegu wakule nyama toe kutu mkikula dengo. Niko 50-50, usini confused na sanse na sina trust ya manjege, mapasta na madenge na maodi tuko genje.
Kuna maodi watanda, hao si magondi. Wanapiganga tanta, jasho bila koti. Kazi ya usiku banza, wanasaka kodi. Wako na noti, hawajitoti.
from sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Fantastic. This is Power Radio on Sheria Dive. And I'm your host, James Njeri. And today we're talking about contracts. If you've been online on Twitter, of course, you've heard the story of the guys who are trying to bring in vehicles. And the person they give them money to bring, it appears that there is an issue, right? There's a delivery that is not happening. And there are some questions that remain unanswered. Now, I always wonder, why is it that Kenyans don't like contracts? We don't like to put things down on paper. And then when things come full circle, you discover you really had nothing. The only thing you have are WhatsApp messages and word of mouth. I think generally, for me, I find that there's a lot of trust with Kenyans, especially when it comes to money. Now, what wataki contracts, I don't know whether we are afraid of what it means to have a contract. I've talked to some people who say a contract means you have to go look for a lawyer. Sasa hiyo pesa ya wakili nani yako nayo. And now the unfortunate bit is you can get to a deal for 1 million. You don't have to pay a lawyer 20,000 to get you an agreement. And then the 1 million disappears. So you wonder, you're trying to save the 20K. Now you've lost both the 20K and the 1 million. And here you are, right? Now, in Kenya, there is a law actually known as the law of contract, right? And this law of contract sets out, what are the requirements? So today, this is school, right? This is law school on a Saturday. So we're going to be dissecting contracts and just understanding what's really the idea behind contracts. Now, of course, a contract basically is defined as an agreement. It's an agreement between two people, all right? And that agreement creates certain obligations and responsibilities, all right? And those obligations or responsibilities can be enforced by the law, all right? Those three things are very important. One, there's an agreement. Then the people, you can't have a contract with yourself, right? So it has to be two or more people. Now, that contract must also create certain obligations. Lazima kuna majukumu. I think that's a Swahili word. Kuna majukumu zitajengwa hapo na the contract. And those majukumus or those obligations, they're obligations that the law can actually step in to enforce. And to enforce means that you can take that contract to court, and then when you take it to court, the courts will say, okay, here's a contract who did not do what they were meant to do. Now, there are also what we call illegal contracts, all right? So, for instance, if you got into a contract with someone to deliver some kidneys, okay? Some human kidneys for, someone needs a donor transplant. That's an illegal contract. It can never be enforced by the court. So the contract has to be for a legal purpose. Sawa? Now, the other thing that is key is that for there to be a contract, there has to be what we call intention, right? It has to be clear that the parties had the intention to get into an agreement. Intention is very key. And in contract law, we always say, if the intention is not there, or if you cannot show the intention, you cannot prove the intention, then that contract is set aside. Why is intention important? You might find that, let's say someone has some land, and you get into a contract with them to sell that land to you. Maybe they didn't know that what we were getting into was a sale. Maybe they thought it was a lease. My intention was to lease you the land for some time, but the land is mine. Unapata sasa wewe umekuwa mjanja. So what are you going to do? You're going to insert some new clauses in there and say, this is actually now a sale. So because there is no intention, then that cannot be a contract because the parties were not of one mind. We say of one mind, right? Nyenye wote, you are reading from the same book. Now, contracts can be either expressed or implied. And let me explain this. Express means iko wazi, right? Hii ni contract na iko wazi. But implied could mean that the parties in the contract, by their conduct, venye wame behave, venye wameongea, venye wamekuwa wakifanya hiyo biashara, it's clear that here there was a contract. These guys were getting involved in a contract. Now, of course, we always advise it's better when a contract is expressed because you've put it down in paper, people have come and they've signed for that. Now, I don't know if you know this, but in Kenya, there are certain contracts that must be written. If they are not written, then it does not amount to a contract. The first one is an agreement to answer for debt or default. For instance, if you're providing security, right? You're providing your property as security for someone else, maybe they're taking a loan. That contract cannot be atituli shake hands na tukaelewana. No, it has to be a written contract, all right? The second one is a contract for the sale of land. Hawezi use a shamba without a written contract. Now, if you use a shamba bila written contract, then it's very easy for that to be thrown out. So if you are the seller, most times if you are the buyer, when you unanunua hiyo shamba, na huyu jamaa kupay contract, unafaa utoke mbio. Because what the law provides is that you must have a contract, a written contract when you're selling land. The other thing is a contract for the sale of goods, all right? You've asked for books, some of you've asked for boots, maybe you want to buy some sneakers. That has to be a written contract because there's a good that is being sold. The importance of this is that it will show what is being sold or what is being transacted, when is the delivery, how much will it cost, all those things. And of course, the other contract that must be written is a contract to obtain credit or to take a loan. So if someone comes to you and they tell you, nipatie loan ya 1 million, nitakurudishia, you need to have a written contract for that. Because if you don't have a written contract, inakuwa sasa my word against yours. If you go to court, you'll say, I gave this guy 1 million. Okay? What happens when they come and say, no, you never gave me anything? Now that creates a problem. Do you see why contracts need to be written? Yeah? When we come back, we're going to be talking about the elements of a contract. What are the things that must be present for there to truly be a contract between people? So, let's get some music and then we're back talking about the elements of a contract. Remember, this is Sheria Dive on at Power Radio and I'm your host, James Jerry, advocate of the High Court. Let's go.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
I'ma make you happy. Tell me how you want it, mommy. Tell me how you want it, mommy. Tell me what you want, I'ma make you happy. I'll make you happy, I'ma make you happy. Tell me how you want it, baby. Tell me how you want it, baby. Tell me what you want, I'ma make you happy. I'll make you happy, I'ma make you happy. Tell me how you want it, baby. Tell me how you want it, baby. Tell me what you want, I'ma make you happy. I'll make you happy, I'ma make you happy. Tell me how you want it, baby. Tell me how you.
That's number one by Leban and Cezia. Fantastic. Today we're talking about contracts here on Sheria Dive Power Radio. And those of us who are listening online, big shout out. Remember, you can always holler at us. If you're watching on YouTube, please put something in the comment section. And if you're listening via the net, why don't you just shout us out and send a question on @Power Radio and @James Wanjeri on the socials. Fantastic. Now, we're talking about contracts, and we've said there are certain contracts that must be written. Yeah? If that contract is not written, you're just playing with fire. The first one we said is that where you are answering to debt, default, all right, or you're providing security for someone who's taking a debt, that has to be a written agreement. The second one is that when you're selling land, you must have a written agreement. Third, when you're selling goods, all right, there are some products that are coming, you must have a written agreement. And finally, when you're obtaining credit, you can't go to a guy at is a Shylock at nimempea logbook akanipea 1 million. There has to be an agreement for that. Now, sometimes you'll find people say the contract that maybe the other side is relying on, it's a fake contract. And of course, towards the end of the show, we'll be talking about things like signing. What if you didn't sign the contract? What if someone has forged your signature? How do you deal with such things? What are some things that can end up declaring a contract invalid? All right. But before we go there, we'd like to talk about the essentials of a contract. What makes a contract a contract? The first thing is what we call offer. There has to be an offer. And basically, in legal terms, usually say that an offer is an expression of willingness to enter into an agreement with another person or a group of persons. All right. On certain terms with the intention to be bound. All right? Haya, now hiyo ilikuwa kizungu ya wakili. Okay? Let's break it down. First, there has to be an expression. Someone is willing and they say, hey, I'm willing. All right? I'm willing to get into this agreement. So there has to be an offer. One of you has to make an offer. The person with the shamba says, I have some land to sell. And the other person says, I will buy your land. All right? Or the other guy says, I have some money and I'd like to buy your land. Are you accepting the offer? So that is the first offer. All right? It has to be a very clear expression that someone is willing to enter into an agreement with you. All right? Now, in law, there's this thing we call invitation to treat. And sometimes people confuse it with an offer. Okay? Now, let me ask you a question. When you walk into a supermarket, na unapata vitu zimewekwa hapo kwa display shelf, right? Aya. Upate wameka 200 for unga. But when you get to the counter, you find the actual amount is 300. Is the supermarket bound to agree to sell to you for 200 simply because that is what it said? And I think I've seen people ask a lot of these questions. You've gone to a supermarket, you find that the price at the shelf plus the price at the counter, they're not the same. Now, what the supermarket does by putting the product on the shelf, that is an invitation to treat. Basically, wanakwambia kuja. Ukichukua, upeleke pale kwa counter, now you have made an offer. The supermarket now gets to decide, am I going to accept that offer or not? So hey, when you come and say, this thing ilikuwa imeandikwa 200 number, aya pole boss, hiyo ilikuwa makosa. You can't then force them to say, because mliandika kwa 200, then it has to be 200. No, remember, you are the one making the offer and they have to accept. And they can say, we will not accept your offer of selling this for 200 shillings, all right? So that is an invitation to treat in a supermarket. But offer is express. Offer is express. Someone says, I want to be bound. And if you accept their offer, then deal done. So, of course, there cannot be an offer without acceptance. And acceptance is the other bit. And on acceptance, we say that The other side, once they be given an offer, they choose now. Do I accept the offer or do I decline? Do I accept or do I reject? And acceptance only occurs when a party agrees to all the terms of the offer. You say, I agree and I want to be bound. Okay? So, how do you show acceptance? For instance, kama umepewa hiyo agreement ya shamba, you show acceptance first by signing. Umesign your agreement. The second thing is that contract has terms. So mostly in land transactions, you'll find you're told, lazima weke deposit maybe at 10%. Ukishaweka hiyo deposit, boss, tushasonga. We've signed, we've accepted. That is acceptance, all right? But there's a third very important thing. For a contract to be a contract, there must be something we call consideration. Now, consideration ni kizungu nyingi tu just to say money was exchanged. So if you ever hear people saying, what is a consideration? Usianze kusema, what I consider here, there we're talking about money. Money. All right? Something of value that is given, all right, in order to make the contract enforceable. So mostly it can be money. But sometimes you can find the consideration could be a physical product, or it could be a good, all right, or it could be a service. So unapata there's still a contract where someone comes and says, give me your shirt, all right, and instead of paying you cash, what I'll do is I'll give you my phone. So something of value has passed. So that is what we mean by consideration. So we've talked about offer, acceptance, and consideration. And now I hope you know, ukienda kwa supermarket unapata the price at the shelf and the price at the counter are different. I hope you know that you cannot force the supermarket to now sell you at the price that they were saying. Sawa? Let's get some music. We're trying to make this very simple. Hatutaki kuwalemea. We just make it simple. Get it one at a time.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
Hello. Niaje mama? Nimeona umetry kunicall. Ukinicall nilikuwa studio. Anyway, ukiwasha simu sio nicall tupige ile story. Yeah.
Sedo.
Fungulia TV uone vijana wako wakifanya mambo ndani ya mitambo mama. Sauti tamu kwenye radio, nimefika hapa juu ya maombi yako. Hata kama sijafika niendako, I know I'm on my way. Napenda ukitabasama, I hope I make you even prouder. Na uzidishiwe afya uone nikivuka boda. As I get older, lean on my shoulder. Umenifunza mengi, I remember when you told me don't you let nobody ever change who you are. Keep running hata nikianguka. Straight out of heaven malaika. Upendo wako haujawahi badilika. You say take your time while you always in a hurry. Be a star, let it shine, tell your story. You're a 10 over 10, you should know that. Hawanioni vile unavyoniona mama. I'm gonna conquer the world with my guitar.
Life si fair already, tukikompare kwenda uni au kwa millionaire na dread, utajiambia hii moja ikui. Passion haitaipesi, uache ball utaikuwa Messi, hata ujitolea iwezi. So niambie ni kasi madream, awali ingeonaje mapenzi na unapimaje wazimu, kujua dream yangu ni crazy. Just needed someone to believe in me. I'm living to be more than just another boring eulogy. Na siwezi toka bila kuacha jina. You'll remember me. My name will live forever. May our memories together be as nice as sunny weather days. Like your energy, I'm grateful and I'm proud of me. Siamini nacha legacy, mama. Vile meli nenda ni kama ndivyo ilifaa kwenda na kasi, hivyo basi meli ingezama. Vile meli nenda ni kama ndivyo ilifaa kwenda na kasi, hivyo basi meli ingezama.
I'm gonna conquer the world with my
those are three very, very important things. And now you know that when you go to a supermarket, you can't tell them to sell